Red Bull Racing has chosen to promote Liam Lawson to partner Max Verstappen, overlooking the more experienced Yuki Tsunoda. Red Bull's decision to replace Sergio Perez for the 2025 season came after a tumultuous 2024 campaign. Perez, who had shown promise early in the season with 4 podium finishes in the first 5 races, experienced a significant downturn in form from the Monaco Grand Prix onwards. This decline in performance led Red Bull to explore alternative options for their second seat. Initially, Daniel Ricciardo was considered a strong contender to replace Perez. The Australian driver's experience and previous success with the team made him an attractive option. However, as the season progressed, it was Liam Lawson who emerged as the frontrunner for the coveted seat. To fully appreciate the significance of Red Bull's decision, it's crucial to compare the experiences and performances of Lawson and Tsunoda. Yuki Tsunoda, who made his Formula One debut in 2021, has accumulated 97 race starts over 4 seasons. This extensive experience has allowed him to develop his skills and adapt to the demands of top-level motorsport. In contrast, Liam Lawson has only 11 Grand Prix starts to his name, all of which came as a substitute driver.
Very tight between the two of them. I mean, Yuki is a very fast driver. He's got 3 or 4 seasons of experience now. He did a very good job in the tyre test for us in Abu Dhabi, where the engineers were impressed with how he performed. But we just felt with Liam, when you look at and go into the analytics of his race pace was slightly better in the races that he did. His qualifying pace was very tight with Yuki, and you've got to assume that the potential with Liam, having only done 11 Grand Prix, is he's only going to get better and stronger.
During the 2024 season, Tsunoda and Lawson had the opportunity to compete as teammates for 6 races. In this head-to-head comparison, Tsunoda appeared to have the upper hand. He outqualified Lawson in all 6 races, demonstrating superior one-lap pace. Moreover, Tsunoda managed to outscore Lawson by 8 points to 4 during this period. These statistics seem to favor Tsunoda, making Red Bull's decision to promote Lawson all the more surprising.
It's great to have Yuki still involved, with the Racing Bulls team next year, and of course, he's on standby should he ever be required.
Christian Horner, Red Bull's team principal, has provided insights into the reasoning behind Lawson's selection. In an interview with ESPN, Horner stated, 11 races is a short amount of time, but if you delve closely into his performances, in qualifying, the margins to Yuki were very tight, and on race pace, he's come out on average above Yuki. Red Bull's decision appears to be rooted in their perception of Lawson's higher potential ceiling. His strong performances and limited opportunities have impressed the team management. Notably, Lawson's mental toughness and resilience have been highlighted as key attributes that make him suitable for the high-pressure environment of a top Formula One team.
With Liam over this, how versatile he is. You put him into a situation, he gets on with it. If you remember his debut in Zandvoort after Daniel broke his fingers, he was racing against Max on his outlap.
Nervy one for you at the time.
And he's got that kind of gritty racer mentality. He did a year in the DTM where he adjusted to driving a Ferrari GT car incredibly quickly alongside Alex Albon and generally had the upper hand. And again, his racecraft has been really one of his key strengths. So he's not afraid to go wheel to wheel and even rub wheels where necessary. So I think he's going to do a great job for us.
Horner elaborated on Lawson's qualities, saying, "What has really stood out with him has been his attitude and his ability to deal with pressure. I think Brazil was an interesting one where all the rookies looked a little bit like rookies in Brazil this year. Liam didn't drop the car, he didn't make any mistakes, he's looked like a seasoned campaigner." Another factor that seems to have influenced the decision is Lawson's driving style, which reportedly bears similarities to that of Max Verstappen. Horner commented, "He drives the car in a similar fashion to Max. He doesn't shy away from having a very positive front end in the car. So I think in terms of driving characteristics, it will be easier for the cars to run more closely together in setup." For Tsunoda, this decision has significant implications for his future in Formula One. The 2025 season will mark his 5th year with Red Bull's sister team, making him the longest-serving driver in the history of the Faenza-based outfit. This extended tenure at what is essentially a junior team raises questions about Tsunoda's long-term prospects within the Red Bull program. Horner acknowledged the crossroads at which Tsunoda now finds himself. He said, "We're acutely aware that if we're not able to provide an opportunity for Yuki being promoted, in all honesty, this year, does it make sense? You can't have a driver in the support team for 5 years. You can't always be the bridesmaid. You've either got to let them go at that point or look at something different." This decision marks a return to Red Bull's strategy of promoting young talent from within their program. However, this approach is not without risks. The team's history with promoting inexperienced drivers has been mixed, with Pierre Gasly and Alexander Albon both struggling to perform alongside Verstappen in recent years. Gasly lasted only 12 races in the main Red Bull team before being demoted back to Toro Rosso, now Racing Bulls. Albon fared slightly better, managing a season and a half before being replaced by Sergio Perez. These experiences highlight the challenges that Lawson will face as he steps into one of the most demanding seats in Formula One. Honda, Tsunoda's longtime backer, had been pushing for his promotion to the main Red Bull team. The Japanese manufacturer has supported Tsunoda since his Formula 4 days and has been instrumental in his rise to Formula One. However, with Honda set to switch to Aston Martin as their engine partner from 2026, their influence on Red Bull's driver decisions appears to have waned. Despite this setback, Honda has expressed its intention to continue supporting Tsunoda beyond 2025. This ongoing support could potentially open up new opportunities for the Japanese driver, particularly as Honda aligns with Aston Martin. Looking ahead, Tsunoda's future in Formula One remains uncertain. While a future promotion to Red Bull isn't entirely off the table, it seems increasingly unlikely. There have been reports of interest from other teams, including Haas and Sauber. Tsunoda's performance in the 2025 season will be crucial in determining his future prospects in the sport. The broader impact of this decision on the Formula One driver market is significant. With Lawson's promotion, only one seat remains open for the 2025 season, the second seat at Racing Bulls alongside Tsunoda. Formula 2 runner-up Isaac Hadjar is considered the front-runner for this position, although no official announcement has been made. Red Bull's decision has not been without criticism. Former Haas team principal Günther Steiner expressed his disagreement with the choice. "I don't think that was the perfect choice," Steiner told GP Blog. "Everything was a compromise. It's one of the choices. I'm in the opinion maybe to know that Yuki should have been given the chance. I don't say deserved because you don't deserve anything, I always say. But would have been a better bet. Say we put him in the car 1 year and see how he's doing. If he's not good, let him go. Now he's sitting another year in the Racing Bull and it's not motivational for the guy as well." Steiner's comments also raise questions about the purpose and effectiveness of Red Bull's sister team. Steiner said, "His 5th year in the junior team, right? Is it a junior team or what is it?" These criticisms highlight the complex nature of Red Bull's driver development program and the challenges faced by young drivers as they attempt to progress to the top team. The decision to promote Lawson over Tsunoda suggests that Red Bull is still committed to giving opportunities to its youngest and most promising talents, even if it means overlooking more experienced drivers. For Lawson, the challenges ahead are formidable. Partnering with Max Verstappen, widely regarded as one of the best drivers of his generation, will be a significant test. Red Bull's history with second drivers has been tumultuous, with several talented drivers struggling to match Verstappen's pace and consistency. Horner has emphasized the need to manage expectations for Lawson. He said, "I think one of the things we'll be looking to protect Liam from is expectation. Of course, when Alex and Pierre were with the team, Max wasn't a 4-time world champion. He hadn't won a world championship at that point. We have a very clear positioning in the team with where Max is at in his career and what we need from the second driver."
Yes, the breaking news is Formula One news. Red Bull have announced that Sergio Perez will be leaving the team after 4 seasons. Man in the know, Craig Slater joins me now.
Perez's exit from Red Bull came as a shock to many fans. After a challenging 2024 season, the team decided to part ways with the veteran driver. Perez's performance had taken a noticeable dip, with his last podium finish coming at the 5th race in China. This downturn in form had significant consequences for Red Bull, as they lost their grip on the Constructors' Championship, slipping to third place behind McLaren and Ferrari.
Well, it's no surprise this is happening, Mike. We've been reporting for some time that he would be replaced at Red Bull. His form was unsustainable.
The statistics paint a clear picture of Perez's struggles. He managed to score only 152 points, a mere 34.70% of Max Verstappen's impressive 437-point haul. To put this into perspective, other team pairings showed much closer performance gaps. Oscar Piastri secured 292 points to Lando Norris's 374, while Carlos Sainz earned 290 points compared to Charles Leclerc's 356. These numbers highlight the significant disparity in performance between Perez and his teammate, which ultimately contributed to Red Bull's loss of the Constructors' Championship. With Red Bull finishing only 77 points behind Victor's McLaren, it's clear that better results from Perez could have made a substantial difference in the championship standings. Perez's career at Red Bull spanned 89 Grand Prix races, from Bahrain 2021 to Abu Dhabi 2024. His qualifying performances tell a tale of two halves. Up until the Miami Grand Prix in 2023, Perez maintained an average qualifying position of 5.1, consistently placing the car in the top 5. However, after Miami, his average qualifying position plummeted to 10.05, highlighting the extent of his struggles. This contrast in qualifying performance illustrates the sudden and drastic decline in Perez's form. The drop from an average position of 5.1 to 10.05 represents a significant loss of competitiveness. What led to this decline? Several factors seem to have contributed. The pressure of competing alongside Max Verstappen, coupled with car development that favored his teammates' driving style, created a challenging environment for Perez. The internal dynamics within the team and constant comparisons to Verstappen's performances only exacerbated the situation. Former McLaren mechanic Mark Priestley, speaking to Casino Uden Rofus, offered insight into the situation. It's not a major surprise. The only surprise with the Sergio Perez situation is that it's taken this long for a decision to be made. It's clearly a lot more complicated behind the scenes instead of the decision being made on the driver's performance. Otherwise, with Red Bull's history, Perez would have been gone a long time ago. This comment suggests that factors beyond just on-track performance may have played a role in the timing of Perez's departure from Red Bull. Now, at the age of 34 and soon to turn 35, Perez finds himself at a crossroads. In a recent press conference in Lyon, he said, "My priority is to enjoy myself, to do things I haven't done, to be with my family. In the next 6 months, I will make a decision on what I want for the next step in my career." This statement marks a significant shift in Perez's approach. For the first time in his career, he's taking a step back to reassess his priorities. But what's truly surprising is his openness about the uncertainty of his F1 future. He said, "It's too early to give an answer as to whether I intend to return to Formula One. Everything happened very quickly at the end of last season. I didn't expect to leave the team." Perez's focus on family life is a refreshing change from the relentless pursuit of racing glory. He explained, "My biggest motivation now is to take my children on a good path and be more present in their lives. I am very excited to be with my family because in F1 you only think about being a better driver. Preparing yourself better, you don't have time for anything else." These statements provide a glimpse into Perez's mindset following his departure from Red Bull. They suggest a period of reflection and a potential shift in priorities, with family life taking center stage for the first time in his career. But while Perez contemplates his future, his father, Antonio Perez Garibay, has hinted at a potential move to Formula E for his son. Antonio Perez Garibay told Spanish outlet Marca that, "Formula E is a category that has been going for 11 years and is still rising. Now it is the second best category, and in 5 years, it will be the main one. Watch out. We might see Checo Perez racing here. That wouldn't be a problem." This statement has caught the attention of Formula E insiders. Alberto Longo, co-founder of the all-electric racing series, was quick to respond to the possibility of Perez joining their ranks. Longo said, "We welcome him with open arms. I also say that it is not the decision of the championship's promoters, which is us, but rather his decision and then that of the main teams. Because in the end, they are the ones who decide who sits in each of their cars. Longo's enthusiasm for potentially having Perez in Formula E is evident. In a previous statement to Sports Illustrated, he had said, "I talk to Checo constantly and I hope he makes a leap to the real competition." Formula E is his home. The doors are open to him, and he is welcome. The prospect of Perez in Formula E is intriguing. The series has been a popular destination for ex-F1 drivers, with 5 former F1 pilots set to compete in the 2025 championship. Jean-Eric Vergne, Nick de Vries, and Pascal Wehrlein are among the ex-F1 drivers who will be on the Formula E grid in 2025. The more evenly matched cars in Formula E, combined with the series' focus on street circuits, could play to Perez's strengths. Unlike Formula 1, Formula E's cars are much more evenly matched, with teams using the same chassis, though manufacturers are allowed to build their own powertrain. This could potentially level the playing field and allow Perez's driving skills to shine. However, Formula E isn't the only option on the table for Perez. The possibility of a return to Formula 1 still looms large, with Perez himself not ruling it out entirely. Perez hinted on that. "For sure, if I receive a good, interesting project, then I'll definitely consider it and think about it. It will all come in its own time." This openness to interesting projects has sparked speculation about potential F1 comebacks. However, the landscape of F1 has changed since Perez's departure. Many teams have locked in their driver lineups for the coming years, potentially limiting Perez's options. An analysis of the current F1 grid shows limited opportunities for Perez. Williams is full for the next few years. Haas has brought in Ocon and Behrman for several years. Aston Martin is not likely to consider Perez as Alonso's successor, and Alpine has an abundance of drivers. Among the current F1 teams, only Audi might be a possibility, but they seem more inclined towards younger talent. One intriguing possibility that has emerged is the potential Cadillac F1 team. The American squad is hoping to join the F1 grid in 2026 and is reportedly looking for an experienced F1 driver to partner with an American talent. Perez, with his wealth of experience and substantial sponsorship backing, could be an attractive prospect for the new team. However, joining a new team like Cadillac would come with its own challenges. As a new entrant, Cadillac would likely need a startup period to become competitive in Formula 1. This could mean Perez, if he were to join, might find himself racing at the back of the grid initially. It's worth considering whether this prospect would be appealing to Perez at the age of 35. Speaking of sponsorship, the commercial aspects of Perez's career remain a significant factor in his future decisions. Carlos Slim, president of key Perez backer Escuderia Telmex, has confirmed ongoing support for the Mexican driver. Slim said, "We have been with many drivers many times. We were with Bruno Senna, we were with Pietro Fittipaldi, and we were with the 2 Mexican drivers with Checo and with Esteban Gutierrez. If there was an opportunity to talk about something with Franco Colapinto, it would not be anything related to Checo. We always seek to support Latin American drivers. Franco is doing very well." This statement suggests that Perez's sponsorship backing remains strong, potentially opening doors for future racing opportunities. The mention of Franco Colapinto, who has been signed by Alpine for the 2025 season as a reserve driver, indicates that Escuderia Telmex's support for Latin American drivers extends beyond just Perez. IndyCar has been a popular destination for former F1 drivers in the past, with names like Marcus Ericsson, Nigel Mansell, and Romain Grosjean making the switch. The series offers competitive racing and could provide Perez with new challenges and opportunities. However, Perez's decision isn't just about choosing between different racing series. There's also the possibility that he might step away from racing altogether, at least temporarily. As Mark Priestley said, sometimes drivers come towards to the end of their long F1 careers, and when they come to the end of their time in the sport, they might want to prioritize time with family. Perez has multiple options ahead of him, though. I don't doubt it.
Lewis Hamilton posted this picture of himself on the slopes. Around the same time, so did Angela Cullen, Lewis's old physio. She can be seen here wearing a red jacket, some would say Ferrari, and in the background, a lot of eager fans have picked up the fact that there's a number 44 sign. Now, hats off to the fans. They've done some research on this, and they seem to think that they're both at the same resort, and this is some sort of clue as to Angela returning to Lewis's side.
Is Angela Cullen making a surprise return to Lewis Hamilton's side? The rumors began with two seemingly ordinary social media posts. First, Lewis Hamilton shared a picture of himself skiing in Colorado, coinciding with his 40th birthday celebration. In the caption, Hamilton wrote, "Another one around the sun. Thanks for all the birthday love. Hard at work already. Talk soon." While this post might not have raised eyebrows on its own, it set the stage for what was to follow.